Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is video 3 of my New Year's series, so if you haven't seen the previous 2 videos, make sure you go back and you watch those to be fully up to date. But in today's video, I'm doing something I've never done on camera before. I'm having my tarot read by someone you may recognize, the Pythian Priestess from Sam Colby's Farrar Series. I had the pleasure of connecting with Ashley when we went out to LA for Sam Colby's movie premiere and then again for the Halloween party. And I knew I wanted to get a reading from her, and then Sam Colby also reassured me that I definitely should because she's always dead on. So I was very excited going into this, and I'm going to play it all the way through so you guys can see what she said. And I'll do a little recap at the end, just kind of going through what she said and my thoughts on it. I'm going to put all of her links down below. Make sure you follow her on all the social medias listed. She also has a website where she talks about tarot and kind of improving your psychic powers, getting to know your inner self, and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to link her website and all of her socials down below. Again, make sure you check them out. And with all that being said, let's get into the reading, and I'll see you guys after.
Cool. So, are we reading for you today or your mom?
This is me. The one that you just did was actually my mom.
Oh, that's crazy. Whoa.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, the first thing I need to know is what is your zodiac sign?
Aries.
Okay. And is there something specific that's bothering you in your life right now?
So right now I'm doing a YouTube series where my last episode I talked a lot about not really knowing where I'm supposed to go.
Okay.
Because I have the Army Reserves, I have a ton of opportunities I can go with there. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I feel like if I full send into the Army or if I go into like law enforcement or something that I originally thought I was going to go into, I feel like I'm wasting everything that we've done with social media. We have so many great connections. We've had so many once in a lifetime opportunities that I feel like I'll just be giving up on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. All right, cool. So, we can take a look at the choices in front of you and what the outcomes would be. So, the first one would be doing the reserves. And then the other one would be just simply not doing it or going a
Mhm.
different direction. So I'm going to pray over the cards as I'm shuffling, and then we'll
Okay.
begin reading.
Or I guess to be a little more precise with it, doing like full time in the reserves or totally changing up everything that I'm doing, or just kind of sticking with where I'm at right now.
Okay. So that's you. I think that you will find that if you go into the reserves, that
Hmm.
you had an idea at one
Hmm.
point of what your life would look like if you did that. But you've done something different. You've changed and you've experienced different things. Going back into that environment would be very difficult for you. Not impossible, just difficult because you have a different style of work now and you have a different, you've changed internally. If you decide to go in a different direction, we actually see, although you are not confident right now and you don't really know what that would look like, I think you have a lot of high expectations for yourself, Dylan. I think you have a lot of like, I should be here, and you're constantly pushing to get better, which is great. But this is also the card of Aries, and right now it's reversed here. So maybe we're leaning a little too far into that. Maybe we need to pull back and get a broader perspective. You're right. You've absolutely made amazing contacts and relationships here that really suit you and are doing well. And if you choose to go in a different direction, you will find happiness. You will find success. This is the what we call the fat cat card. You can see how happy he is and feeling self-satisfied and successful. The only thing that would cause you more difficulty is to do nothing. If you choose to do nothing at all, your outcome would be the the Knight of Swords reversed, which is overthinking and not going anywhere, which is in combination with how you feel right now where you're blindfolded, right? I can see this has been ailing you for a very long time. And I urge you, Dylan, to stop listening to other people's opinions about this situation and really go into the heart of it from your perspective.
That's crazy. All right. That's nuts. Because it's been something that I've thought about for I mean, probably the last 2 years at least.
Hmm.
Between being on the road all the time for events, sometimes I'll just sit there and I'd be like, man, I wonder if, my original plan was to go into West Point. I wonder if I got into West Point. I wonder if I did this thing different and I decided to finish my degree and we did the videos on YouTube and then that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I think you could have done it, but I don't think you would have been as happy. Yeah, so we've solved that question. You wanted to talk about your purpose. Is that something that you mentioned?
Yeah, just kind of like I feel like my life's purpose. Sometimes I feel like, I am very happy in the army, but I also am very happy doing content creation and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Down the road, I'd love to do some sort of like past life regression. I find that
Oh,
pretty interesting.
hmm.
But I guess like life path or life purpose, something to that vein.
Sure. I can tell you a little bit about that from the cards, but there's also a lot of other things you can look at, like your life path number, for example, where you add up all the digits of your birthday, your birth year, and birth month, and then you
Mm.
simplify it. Your life path is to bring fairness. So charity doesn't always mean just giving money. It's also acts of love and kindness to the world. So that's the ultimate purpose of life is to bring understanding and kindness to other people. We see here that you will probably have a wife, or if you are already married, that you will have some kind of family, potentially with children. In the greater scheme of your soul, it is to go inside of yourself and reflect on the divine mysteries of life. That's what the hermit does. There's a lot of questions about why does the universe exist? How does it do this? What do ghosts do? How they function? And you exploring that is a big part of your journey. Now, that being said, you are currently at a crossroads where you're wondering, like, what even do I believe in? What does that mean to me? And you have both the star and the moon reversed there. And that this is part of the journey, is going through these moments of uncertainty. There's some esoteric mystics who would call this the dark night of the soul. Like, do I believe in a god or a goddess or a creative being? That is part of your journey, trusting and surrendering to the flow of life, knowing that like the journey, like sometimes I get that you've maybe made mistakes in the past that make you nervous, and you always want to be like very cautious, but you're letting the ghosts of your past dictate instead of being able to be in the flow and trusting your intuition. There's like a mental block here. It's like, oh wow, I got to be so careful. So part of this journey is learning to release the restraint you have, right? It's like that need for control, letting it go a little bit. Um, and then working on this card in particular, we see a lot of different wands coming at you and your own wand, your own ideas. So you being able to express and show your own ideas into the world through action, which will bring about the earth, which is that charity, those acts of love and kindness for other people.
That's crazy. And if we have time for it, maybe like the next 6 months or the next year going forward, like what can I expect to, challenges that come up, life changes, anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, you got it. Okay. So we see a change in the next 6 months, and the way that you both in your physical life, the way that you're doing things, you might be thrown off balance for a little while. So there's this change that's coming, but it's all positive. That the sun reversed like this is an indication of there's no bad meaning when the sun is out, except there's a little bit of cloud, right? So there's a lesson that you're going to be learning. So this lesson is an emotional change within you. So the death card is going inside of yourself and getting new ideas and new perspectives. So we have to go look at the past and say, what I have learned, how can I take that and move it into the future? But also, because what's so cool about this, Dylan, is this stained glass window is that same card that was the six of coins from your last reading. It's like inside
Right.
this one. So wondering, how do I achieve that goal? And that's going to show changes in your lifestyle, changes in your work patterns, etc. In your thoughts and in your heart, we see the goddess watching over you. This is the very nurturing, loving, feminine energy that you will be working with. This is kind of that divine flow we talked about, getting into that energy, that Venus creation. And I see there's work for you in the future too, which is great. Your final card and the outcome is the Page of Wands. So you're looking up to the future. The wand's a little bit bigger than you right now, but you will grow into it, so which is lovely. So there's great new adventures ahead of you, probably in that content creation, in that creative outlet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exciting
That's
stuff.
Yeah, good stuff to hear. Um, yeah, I think that's all I really had questions for. I don't know.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so glad that I was able to give you some clarity on what you were looking for.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dylan. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And if you have any other questions, you know how to reach me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So with the reading being done, I just want to say first of all, big shout out to Ashley for sticking with me through the Zoom call because I felt like I was back working at like Polo or back during 2020 times when I had to go to class during Zoom. I was so awkward, bro. Big shout out to her. Thanks for sticking by me. I also wanted to get my questions in really quick. I only booked a 15-minute reading. She has a whole bunch of different readings that you can book over on her website as well. So again, make sure you check that out down below. But I have some notes right here of what she said that I want to go over and kind of reflect on. So, first thing she said was going full time in the reserves would not be impossible, but difficult. It's a different job, and I've had different life experiences that kind of puts me in a different position now, which is absolutely true. I've been thinking about changing my MOS in the Army or picking up an AGR or like a full time position in the reserves. I mean, like she said, I've been in a different job the past 4 or 5 years. I'm sure I could adjust to it pretty easily, whether it's a new MOS or picking up a full-time job at my unit. But at the same time, I'm so accustomed to setting my own schedule and going to the gym when I want or waking up when I want to. You know what I mean? Like any adjustment like that would obviously be a huge switch. So going from working to myself, setting my own schedule, being my own boss sort of thing, having my own business, to going back to an 8 to 4 or a 9 to 5 or whatever that would look like, it would definitely be a huge switch. And the next thing she touched on kind of coincides with that as well. That I'm not confident in social media. I'm so rocky right now. I feel like I should be at a certain point, but I'm not. I have really high expectations for myself. And that rings true. I mean, that's rang true my entire life. Like I said in the first video, I had really bad anxiety growing up about tests a lot. I would always perform really well, except in math. I freaking hate math, guys. If you also hate math, make sure you drop a comment down below. Say, I hate math. But I always set these really high standards for myself, and a lot of the times I would obtain them, but whenever I didn't, it was the end of the world, you know? So that still rings true today. I have these certain standards that I try to uphold myself to, but sometimes it's just not realistic. It's not obtainable. And I talked about that quite a lot in my present video if you go back to last week's video and watch that. Like back 2021 time frame, I was working 2 jobs. I was doing the social media thing a little bit. I was doing events on the weekend or the reserves, whatever I had, that weekend. And I was just pushing myself to the limit. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And then I eventually flipped my car. My family kept telling me, you're going to get burnt out. You're only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep because I was waking up really early to go to the gym. They're like, you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to flip your car. You're going to get into an accident. You're going to do something that you're going to regret. Like, I'm fine. I'm invincible. I'm 20. What was I, 20 at the time? 19? I can't do anything wrong. I'm fine. It'll be all right. And then August 9th, 2021, I flipped my car. So it's like I've always had really high expectations for myself. I always feel like I can do more. So the fact that she got that through the cards was really interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know, moving on. She said, if you choose to go in a different direction, you will find happiness and success. I mean, that's definitely comforting to hear. It's I don't know, it's scary because that can be taken so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like if I decide to go into the reserves full time, or if I decide to switch my MOS, I'll find success and happiness in that, and getting a new job with the reserves, changing up my MOS, changing up my tempo for my 1 week in a month or 2 weeks out of the year, or whatever. Or it could be talking about events. Like, I don't know, if I try to full send into this YouTube channel and I just absolutely grind out content creation with all these connections that we've made, like maybe I'll find great happiness and success in doing Haunted Nights, like the YouTube channel, and also trying to just grind out videos for this channel. You know, traveling to new places, getting new experiences with new people. Let me know what you interpret that as because there's so many different interpretations. I'll definitely have to book another reading with her in the future. There's a lot of questions that I still have, but this reading was very insightful for sure. And she said I would have more difficulty by doing nothing, which I feel like I've been in a state of catatonia for the past like year or two, because it's like I'll have this big idea, like starting the podcast. I'm like, I'd be so sick to start a podcast. Maybe if I get it to the point where I start to build a following for it and I start to make some money off of it, you know, I can reinvest it into the business and the podcast, and you know, hopefully that'll work out for me. But it's like then I think about starting a YouTube channel, and then I think about posting all the time on every social media platform that I have, and I want to go out and I do that. Like, you know, there's so many different things that I want to do that I stretch myself way too thin, and then instead of trying to prioritize and plan things out, I just kind of like sit back and watch it burn. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't know if I lose motivation. I don't know if you would call it getting burnt out, but I definitely have a problem sometimes with just doing nothing. I'll see a problem in my life and I just won't do anything about it. I'll sit there and I'll watch it play out just to see what happens, you know? Not necessarily that I don't know what to do, or, you know, I'm not sure how to act. I'll just sit there and I'll let it play out just to see what happens. And the next thing kind of lines up with that as well. To stop listening to other people's perspectives, come from like my heart, you know, my perspective. And I definitely struggle with that a lot because growing up, they never tell you that one day you're going to be making decisions for your life. You know, growing up, it's always, I have to pick you up. You're going here, you're going to school, you're going to sports, you're going to this club, you're going to this after school activity. And then eventually one day it's gone. You know what I mean? You're done with high school. You might be going to college. You might have some semblance of that, but you have a ton of free time still. Me, I did online college, which again, as I said last video, I'm going back to, but I'm still setting my own schedule. Like I went from working an 8 to 4 or a 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it, having to be under someone's managerial control, to being my own boss. When we're not on the road for events or for filming, I dictate my entire life. So it's a huge like culture shock almost. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to do a lot of times. I don't know how to spend my days. I don't know what the best course of action is sometimes. And it's terrifying. I think that's where maybe some of that catatonia comes from, is because there's so many options, there's so many different things I can do, but I don't always know what the best option is. So I feel like sometimes I'll go to other people and ask them, what should I do? What would you do in my situation? And then I get so many different inputs that it doesn't get me anywhere. Next thing she said is the life path. She said if you add up the numbers from your birthday, it gives you your life path number. I think I did it right. My birthday is 04/05/2002. So math adds up to 13, right? And then if you simplify it, it's 4. If I did that wrong, let me know down in the comments, but if I did that wrong, then that's going to mess up this part of the video. Anyway, allegedly, I'm a life path 4, which I didn't know what that meant, so I Googled it, and I got 2 pictures right here. This one says life path number 4. Those with life path 4 are practical, hardworking, and great at problem solving. Their strengths are they're loyal, patient, diligent, and methodical. Weaknesses, they're stubborn, rigid, bossy, and overly cautious. I don't know about bossy. I feel like I'm pretty laid back, but... And then it says life path 4 should be more flexible and accept change. Otherwise, they will push people away and not reach their full emotional potential, which I think is very valid. Like I said, I don't know about the whole bossy thing. Stubborn, rigid, and overly cautious. I'll own that. That's me for sure. But I definitely am terrified of change because I don't know what it brings. You know, that's another one of those things where nobody tells you that this journey called life, you're not going to know what's coming. That's just how it works. And I have another picture right here that I'll also put on the screen. It says Life path 4, above all else, you long to feel secure in all areas of your life. This often stems from experiencing trauma as a child, which may still affect your relationships. The main journey of your life is to find healing around the pain you've experienced so you can create the stable and productive life you were meant to lead. Personality traits: hardworking, dependable, brilliant. Brilliant. Wow. Don't hype me up. Jeez. Knowledge seeking, fair, loyal, organized, ethical, routine, productive, practical, rule follower. It says I'm going to have emotional challenges. There will be finding balance in all areas of your life. Letting go of perfectionism. That's crazy. And it says career: with your methodical nature, you make a wonderful addition to the planning and organizing area of any company. Many fours are drawn to the military, government, which is another thing I wanted to get into when I was younger. Upper management because of their sense of obedience, discipline, and attention to detail. You may stay in one field for life. Wow, I just got chills reading that actually, because I saved that picture and I didn't read the entire thing. You may stay in one field for life. I feel like that's such a taboo concept, because last week you guys were giving me great insight in the comments section. A lot of you guys were saying, I've changed careers multiple times. It's very normal to do so. This is saying that, if you buy into numerology, which I'm on the fence, I'm not too sure, it says that I may have one career field for my entire life. And I'm already in the military, so maybe I am a 20 or a 30 year member of the military. I'm going to be one of those 20 or 30 year members, you know what I mean? Maybe, dude, that's crazy actually. That last sentence is nuts. Pretty much all of those line up though. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Also says most compatible numbers 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. So if that's one of your life path numbers, drop a comment, let me know. With potential matches being 3 and 9. The next thing Ashley talked about was bringing charity or acts of kindness to the world, bring understanding and kindness, which is a huge thing that I talk about, or I try to whenever I can, with my Built Different, team Built Different. I'm actually wearing the hoodie right now that you can get at ghost-generation.com. Link will be down below. But also on my website, I have the Ghost Generation Gives Back webpage, and I try to feature, a cool organization that does good stuff for the community every month or every 2 months or so. And I also have the Built Different core values over on the website that you can read about. And they're mainly just trying to create a good community of just solid individuals, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, showing respect to others. I'm not going to spoil too much of it. Make sure you go to my website and read more about it. But, it's like that definitely lines up pretty heavily. I've always tried to bring good stuff into the world. I've always tried to be a positive figure that you guys can look up to or listen to, you know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. She said I'll probably have a wife and kids, and that's hard to think about right now because of my lifestyle, how I'm always on the road. A lot of these times we go on trips and we have no idea where we're going, what we're doing, how long we're going to be in each state or each location. It's like, it's so hard to conceptualize that one day I might be, stable enough where we only film certain number of days a month or a certain number of weeks per month, and I'm going to have a house and I'm going to have a wife and kids. Like that's so hard to visualize, but hearing that it's even a possibility it's nuts, just to like be reminded like this can happen to you. Like, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, this could be you. So, phew. She said, for the soul, you have to go within yourself and reflect on the divine mysteries of life, which I haven't done in a while. I feel like sometimes, kind of going in with the whole catatonia or the catatonic state that I talked about earlier, I find it very easy or very simple sometimes to just kind of go with the flow, like turn brain off, go in the car, fall asleep in the car, wake up in this state, just kind of like go through the motions. You know what I mean? Um, and it's like I feel like I don't think as much as I used to. I don't read as much as I used to or as much as I want to. I don't think about these divine mysteries, as she put it. Why is the universe this way? Why do ghosts interact in this way? We'll talk about theories every now and again in videos or on live streams, but I don't actually sit there and think about it as much as I used to. And she said I'm at a crossroads with what I believe in, whether it be a god, a goddess, tarot, religion, whatever. And again, that's dead on. That's something I haven't talked about on camera. I try not to because I feel like it's a sensitive topic. Some people have bad experiences with religion or bad experiences with, the occult or witchcraft or whatever. So I try not to bring it up too much, but I've been looking into the scriptures more and more, and I've found solace in it a little bit. And in basic training, that's something I also turn to. I would go to the religious services every Sunday, even if it was only to get away from the drill sergeants. I found myself enjoying the services and actually listening to what the chaplain was saying and paying attention to the scripture and trying to take lessons from what he was saying. You know what I mean? She said, I need to trust and surrender to the flow of life. I need to kind of like enjoy the journey. Now, that's different from what I was just talking about, where I just kind of turn my brain off because I'm not enjoying the journey. I'm just on autopilot, you know what I mean? Like, we'll go to these sites, I'll be like, wow, that's cool, that's amazing, take a picture. And then it's like, I don't know if I enjoy it. I don't know if I'm enjoying the experience or if I'm just living in the moment. You like, I don't know how to differentiate the two. I think more so that's applicable to when I'm not on the road because I feel like in the rest of my life I feel like I need to have control. You know, kind of a common theme that I had both in the past video and the present video is that I I wish I could control what's coming or I wish I could know what's coming. And I guess I didn't realize I said it in both videos, but maybe it's just like I need to get better at letting what's going to happen happen. You know what I mean? I overthink way too much about what could happen and if I do this, what happens after, or if I do this, what would be the result? In the end, whatever's going to happen is going to happen and you're going to live with the results. She said I need to trust my intuition and that I might have sort of a mental block that I'm being too careful. That definitely applies. I feel like in life there's a lot of things that I know I have to do or things I know I should do and I don't do them because I'm scared of what the results could be. You know, the unknowing or what could possibly happen. I feel like that just scares me, which has been a theme the past, 3 videos. So, and then she talked about being able to express myself through action, which I took it as not only this YouTube channel, but my website or the Gives Back page, making time to volunteer or do more good works. You know, maybe I should do more fundraisers for historical sites or different organizations on my social medias. Maybe I should use my platforms to talk about these organizations a little bit more, rather than 1 or 2 story posts a month or something like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm very grateful, very blessed to have the platform that I do have. And I feel like I could be using it a lot more for good things, but I don't necessarily know if it's my place. I've talked about this before on live streams and whatnot. I feel like I box myself in sometimes. You know, I'm a ghost hunter, I'm an army reservist. Nobody cares about anything else. They don't care if I like this organization because it does good stuff for the community. They don't care if I go on hikes in my free time or I go to the gym. But I don't know. I should just not box myself in, I guess. Now, she said there's going to be a big change in the next 6 months in my physical life, kind of like my daily routine or my regular work schedule or workflow. It's going to throw me off balance, but it's going to be a positive end result. Honestly, I have no clue what that could be. Um, it's like there's so many different possibilities, kind of like tying into I know what I should do and I'm not doing it. I don't know. If you guys have any insights regarding that, make sure you drop a comment, let me know. And she said, a lesson I will learn, there's going to be a lesson I will learn, and there's going to be an emotional change. And I have to look at the past and what I've learned and apply it to the future or use it going forward. Again, I look at the past a lot. I try to reflect a lot. Every winter, I try to go through and look at old pictures, look at old posts, kind of reflect on my experiences that year and previous years. Which, if you guys want to reflect with me, make sure you follow me on all the other social medias linked down below. Also, check out Ashley's social medias as I link them down below if you didn't already check those out already. But she said there's going to be changes in my lifestyle and my work patterns and all that. And I'm going to learn a lesson from all of this, and there's going to be an emotional change. That's heavy though. That's something big. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something major, and I don't know if that has something to do with the reserves. I don't know if that has something to do with YouTube or the events or what that could possibly be. And she reiterated just kind of giving into the energy, letting life do what it's going to do because I just need to like learn how to take hands off, let things happen. That's something that seemed to come through multiple times. And the final thing, she said, looking to the future, I have my work cut out for me, but I have opportunities coming up. I'm going to have work, and there's going to be great new adventures I get to encounter with either the reserves, with content creation. She thought it was going to be with content creation. So that's good. That's something that's good news to wrap up on. That's a happy ending to the 3 video series, I feel like, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that holds. I don't know what the change is. So maybe I'll have to do another reading. Maybe I'll have to dive a little bit deeper. But all in all, this was a really cool experience. I'm glad that I, got this set up with Ashley. And if you guys are interested in something like that, I would definitely recommend that you check out the links down below. Either take one of her classes, go to one of her seminars, or have a tarot reading of your own. So while I wish I knew more, I wish I had a crystal ball that I could look into and see everything that was going on. I guess in the end, I just have to let life do what it's going to do. So I don't know. All right, with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video or hope you found it interesting. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you're new, comment your thoughts down below on the reading and maybe something I missed or a different interpretation. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys watching and all the support that you guys showed on the 3-part New Year's series. I hope you had a great holiday season. I hope the new year treats you well, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.